Good evening. We'll call the City of Hawarden, Iowa City Council meeting to order on Wednesday, October the 23rd, 2019 at 5:30 p.m. Present are council members other than Travis Olson, staff members at this point other than Corey Utek. Opportunities for public comment are, again, as usual, at open business from the community at 1C. Tonight we do not have any public hearings. We'll start again with number 1A. This is the approval of our last City Council meetings from October the 9th, 2019.
So moved.
There's been a motion by John. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jen. Any questions or clarifications? All in favor then of the October 9th, 2019 City Council meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 4-0. As usual, next is claims for payment. I'll start to my right for questions. Tim?
None?
John?
None, thank you.
Jen, any questions?
None, thank you.
Rob?
No questions.
Hearing no questions, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
It's been a motion by Tim. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jen. All in favor of claims for payment, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That again passes 4-0. Next, open business from the community. Hearing none, we'll move to the mayor's report for this evening. Again, received a nice email from Alexis at Unity. It said, with the upcoming election, I would again like to say I will be keeping you and all the decisions made in my prayers. Thank you all for all that you do for the town of Hawarden, for the changes you have made. Our American politics class has been learning a lot about what goes into the elections and how important they are for our communities. We appreciate all you do and all that you put into the election. Sincerely, Alex. We appreciate her correspondence. That is important that you folks as citizens do your right to vote, and that'll be coming up here shortly at the community center. So exercise your rights there. Also coming up is Halloween, so we'd like you to use safety in the Halloween activities if you would. And last Saturday, Cynthia and I attended the 100th celebration of the Hawarden American Legion, and our thanks to those members and to the auxiliary for all they do in our community. This organization really promotes the idea of patriotism for our country and our state through their programs with the youth, Memorial Day programs, Avenue of Flags, and with the presentation of the flag at athletic events and military funeral rites. Our community is blessed to have a dedicated American Legion post here in Hawarden. We will move to staff reports, and we'll start with Jacob with financials, please.
So last week I went down to Des Moines and participated in an IMFOA conference they had there. They went over our new budget process with the extra public hearing, went over the AFR, and then also the urban renewal coming up. So next meeting we should have those ready to go for November. And that's all I've got going on right now besides starting prep for next year's budget.
Okay, great. Thanks for keeping yourself up to date on what we need to be doing legally. So Travis with the Department of Public Works, please.
Update on the Central Avenue overlay project. It's been postponed. Knife River is the contractor that won the bid to do the work. They've been hampered with weather all summer and fall, so they just keep getting pushed back on their projects. They're currently on the project that they need to finish up before they can move into ours. I didn't want to put another date out there to have it missed. The other thing now we're worried about is the cold weather. So I'm optimistic we can still get the project completed this fall, but we need warm, dry weather. So as soon as I know, I'll get it out to the businesses and citizens. And then early next month, I'll be doing my annual employee performance reviews, as well as starting the budget process with the utility foremans. And that'll help me as we roll into the overall budget with the city staff.
Is there a cutoff date that we can't do it after? I mean, is like December too late for that
It boils down to whether you want it to be over 40 degrees. So, and we don't want to, we're not going to do any milling until we know we have 2 or 3 good days to do the overlay. Worst case scenario, we won't do anything. We'll just patch a few of the holes and make it through the winter, and then right away in the spring.
Would it be the same price then?
Yes, well, yep.
How'd the citywide cleanup go?
Went really well. There's less than there has been in the past. We've been a lot more fortunate with Orange City
Yeah.
collections, OC sanitation, so they've had dumpsters there and unloaded them and loaded them real fast, so we should have her cleaned up. And the tree pile, the Meyer Pallets who grinds our tree pile, they were very busy with the tornado in Sioux Falls, so, which kind of worked out, so then we pushed that back. They'll be grinding that in the next month.
Transmission line folks haven't had very good weather for working out there either, have they?
No, they've been working in the rain and weather though. They just keep pushing along.
Dedicated to that project.
Yep.
And wastewater?
It's moving along smoothly as well, so.
We'll have another meeting coming up, beginning of November. We have a monthly progress meeting, so.
Okay. At some point, will there be enough progress out there that council should go look at things at this point or not?
That'll probably be spring.
Yeah, I think spring right now, they're doing a lot of the underground and dirt work and things like that.
Nothing we'd
and
see.
So,
Okay. Thanks. We'll move to Mike for city administrator, please.
as both Jacob and Travis alluded to, we are doing some preparation for the next budget we're going to be doing this winter. Tomorrow night, the city's hosting the Chamber After 5. We're going to be at the fire pit by the camper pad. So if you're available, come and stop in. It's at 5:30. And Larry and I attended Plotica Communitaria last night at the library. It went pretty well. Small group, but seemed to go pretty well. Once you attend those, it does make you realize that there is, misunderstandings or it's maybe our billing systems and things like that are clear to us, but not to everybody else. So I think they're good meetings to have. The community center, the furnace went bad on us. We've been doctoring it for the last couple of years. We had Johnson Controls out to look at it, and they had to turn the gas way down because it was getting so hot it was burning some of the insulation. And so we've ordered a new one. It's going to be just under $27,000 to replace that because it's the largest one we have up there.
Oh.
So we have 5 furnaces in all on the rooftop. So this will be the 3rd one we replaced. So we can just kind of imagine in the next few years we'll be doing the other 2.
Can't skip winter, can we?
Can't skip winter.
Larry?
Been doing my usual outreach. I do a lot of that via in-person visits, phone calls, and emails, primarily to our current and existing businesses, our traction clients, and then also been reaching out and meeting with some of the school members. So that's been going well. Also attended the Innovation Expo up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and also went to the community meeting last night and had discussions with some of our citizens. And then also just got back this afternoon from the Iowa Retail Initiative meeting. They had one over in Orange City, so we attended that. Our outreach also on the facade program continues. At this time, we have 11 definite no's. We have 12 that have some form of interest. We have 2 apps currently in hand and another one coming in the morning. So we continue to work on that. Primarily right now, what we focused on, like what the state recommended us to do, is focus on everything facing central. Avenue. And then if we don't get enough individuals that way, we can think about expanding that. But they prefer that you keep it in a very concentrated area. So we continue to work on that, and then we also continue to work on our outreach to our existing businesses. I try to visit or contact with them every 3 to 6 months. So, that's it.
Good, thanks, Lori.
First, like to apologize for being late. I have a newfound appreciation for single parents. I'm currently doing that this week and can't wait for my wife to get home tonight. On a business note, a couple things have come up recently. One, I don't know if you guys have heard about the electrical fire that they had at the nursing home up on Oak Hill Drive. We ran into a little bit of a struggle with that road. People are allowed to park both directions. We had all sorts of residents. Obviously, when we have a fire or smoke, we have to evacuate everyone. We were unable to get school buses up there easily, fire trucks up there easily. So I was looking in to see if maybe the council would like us to look into options as far as making a one-way parking and just pick one of the sides and leave it at that. I know last winter I had 2 calls of semis that were trying to get up to Plasticology, and for whatever reason their GPS had them go up Oak Hill Drive as opposed to taking 23rd and going straight across, and they get stuck halfway. We had to put salt and sand and had the city come and sand underneath the truck so they could get up the hill in the ice, and a lot of that was just because they couldn't back down the hill because of all the vehicles that are parked on both sides of the road. So that was one thing I didn't know if you guys would like me to look into more. The other is I've had a few people comment on the recent dirt bike tracks that have been coming up in the people's yards. I know there's one right on Highway 10, kind of by the Memorial Rock there, that people have been noticing and paying attention to. I didn't know if there was... There's really nothing in the code, I don't think, that prevents it from happening. But I'm just afraid that there's going to be some kid that gets on there and wipes out, and parents aren't home, and then, is there a liability issue with them? But there's concern, obviously, some of the people at Coffee want them gone, but I didn't know if that was something you guys would entertain either.
Safety concern, but there's also, they're kind of unsightly. They build up the banks and noise concern for the other residents in that area.
Yeah, I'd echo those comments on the bike. And then I've also had discussions during business outreach about the making the one-way over by Plasticology and stuff like that, or not one-way, but just parking on one side for EMS purposes, getting units in and out when it's up there. So I know there's individuals up there interested in doing that.
And last, but if I could just real quick, while it's on the tip of my tongue, last but not least, I had a lot of questions about an incident that occurred in town today. I know the media has been contacting me and whatnot. There was a call of shots fired at 1001 Avenue I. Because of that, we went down, we did our sweep looking for the suspect that was reported to us. We're unable to find them. I just happened to be in the area of the school, so I stopped in. I told Araceli, hey, it's close to here, so just don't let anybody in or out. If you see anybody that looks like this that comes to the door, just let us know. Was not in lockdown or anything like that. The whole call ended up being unfounded. There was plenty of people outside. Nobody else heard a gunshot but this one individual, and we cannot confirm that there ever was. So it's going to remain unfounded, but I know a lot of people have been asking if we had it in lockdown, and we did not, just for clarification.
Question on the, this one, I'm thinking of the right street at Oak Hill. That's the one that's just to the north of the apartments?
Correct.
Obviously, they're parking on both sides and
Yes.
comes off of L there and heads in.
What do we have to do to pass an ordinance? I mean,
Just
that
have
seems
to
like-
pass an ordinance so we can do 3 readings. But I can bring an ordinance back to the next meeting to start those procedures.
That makes sense. If
Which
there's a
side?
safety issue,
Yeah.
we should have our ambulance
I would
and
think
fire
they
trucks.
should be allowed to park
And
on the north.
we just put up signs on the one side after
Up
the
the
ordinance
hill.
passed and
That's
educate
where we want it to be,
those
free
in the
and clear,
apartments.
in my opinion.
So you just want to start that,
Yep.
come up with something for next meeting?
I agree, for the safety of
Yeah.
all of those that live up there and everything.
We've got
Yep.
seniors and stuff in the one place. Fire trucks. I feel bad for the semis, but that's,
Yeah, they should take a different route.
take it up with MapQuest or something.
Dirt bike tracks, nothing in the code at this point?
We'll look at it.
Okay, look at it if you would, give us some feedback on that. Okay. Thank you. Jim, anything from your point of view?
No.
Thanks for turning your mic on.
You're welcome. I think the Economic Development Director did it.
We'll move on, please, to council comments. Anything from our council members this evening?
On Halloween, the chamber is throwing their annual trunk or treat. We've moved it to the community center parking lot this time, so we're just going to have a little bit of different venue. So watch for things coming out on that.
That's always a fun time for the kids.
It's a lot of fun.
And for those that are participating, making the trunks.
Yep.
Thank you. We'll move on to other agenda items. Agenda item number 3, this is the third and final reading, if it passes, of ordinance 717. Again, the last 2 meetings, we've talked about this. It's the same ordinance. We just did not have the billing and billing information in it. Is there a motion for the third reading of ordinance 717?
So moved.
Moved by Rob. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jen. I'd like to call a roll call vote, please, for the third reading of ordinance 717.
Feldhacker,
Aye.
Bergsma,
Aye.
Clucky,
Aye.
Kurth.
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, third reading of ordinance 717 passes. Agenda item number 4, this would be a resolution 2019-47. A lot of legal information there. Essentially, we're splitting in half a vacated alley between Ronald Yackel and Sue Gant, owners of the Lot 6, and Maria Curiel Andrade, the owner of Lot number 5. Give us an overview, if you would, please.
Correct. Maria initially contacted us about buying this lot up on your screen or in your packet. It's 15 feet wide. It's a half an alley. We have nothing in it. And then as we were measuring it up, Mr. Yackel came along and said he would like to buy half. As you can see, his property kind of juts out a little bit to square off his property. So in meeting with both parties, they've agreed to each buy half of it. We have no use for it. They've been mowing it, and we used the same price we've been using it at 42 cents a square foot, and I think sometime after the first of the year, we'll have to adjust that price on future properties, but we really have no interest in the property.
So this resolution then would set the public hearing to vacate and
Correct.
sell.
Yep.
Okay. There are questions about this resolution or this piece of property that's city-owned at this point? Is there a motion for resolution 2019-47?
So moved.
Moved by John. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jen. Jen, you're busy tonight. Thank you very much. I'd call for a roll call vote, please, for resolution 2019-47.
Clucky.
Aye.
Kurth.
Aye.
Feldhacker,
Aye.
Bergsma.
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, resolution 2019-47, public hearing then will follow. Agenda item number 5, resolution 2019-48. This is a resolution proposing to grant an easement on the legal description there, north of the Milroy residence at 1922 Avenue M. Can you give us an overview of that, please?
A couple years ago, John approached the council about building a garage in his backyard, and he would need to use part of 20th Street for a driveway. At that time, they talked about selling the property. And John approached me again here recently and wanted to know if we could get something moving on it. And in looking at it, if you sell the property, one of Boyer's lots gets landlocked up there, and then we sell off the part John wants, we have what's left, which is kind of in the middle of a block. So we talked about an easement, and at this point, John and Brenda are agreeable to an easement that they can build a driveway onto this property, and they can still build their garage and continue to use it. If we ever decide to build a street, we still have it, but I don't foresee that anytime soon, but we still have that option available, and he can accomplish what he would like to do as well.
Any thoughts from legal?
Well, no, I mean, I wrote the easement up. We're prohibited by statute from, from selling an interest in real estate without going through these procedures, even if it's an easement. And, determining the fair market value of an easement, I mean, I think it's nominal. I put $1 down, but then they're also taking on some responsibilities, and they're going to make an improvement that gives us some tax benefits. So I guess I'm comfortable with that.
Then my understanding, they've been blessing us by maintaining that.
They've been maintaining it forever?
Yes.
Yes. So,
John can attest to that.
we appreciate
Brenda can
that.
attest. That way, John, way to dictate, or delegate, excuse me. That's the wrong word. Sorry, Brenda. Any questions about this resolution 2019-48 for the easement?
So this would set the public hearing. We would grant the easement at the next meeting.
Okay.
So move.
Been moved by Rob. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Tim. Roll call vote then for resolution 2019-48.
Feldhacker,
Aye.
Bergsma,
Aye.
Kurth,
Aye.
Clocky.
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, resolution 2019-48 passes. Excuse me, which will lead then to the public hearing, and thanks for your work in keeping that maintained for us. Agenda item number 6, this is the resolution 2019-49, resolution declaring necessity and providing for notice of hearing on proposed urban revitalization plan.
This is setting a public hearing for December for our urban revitalization plan. We talked about, I believe it was in September or late August, in which we would do the tax abatement for new construction under certain circumstances. The revitalization plan is by each of your despots. I did not get that till later today. That's why it wasn't in the packet. But this will set the hearing. Once we set the hearing, it has to be 30 days before we can have it, and we have to notify everybody via mail that lives within the revitalization area of this hearing. So this gives us a little more time for the December meeting. We would actually have set it for the second meeting in November, but not knowing if we were going to have one, we made it for December. So.
Incoming, obviously, from Dorsey Whitney, it's always, the legalese is all correct.
Yes, they put a lot more words in than what I did, but it was a lot of legal words. So, but the plan is just exactly as we discussed on new construction and the dollar amounts and things like that.
Okay. Is there a motion for resolution 2019-49?
So moved.
Been moved by Tim. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jen. Further questions or clarifications? This will then again put the hearing on December the 11th. Hearing no questions, I'd entertain a roll call vote, please, for resolution 2019-49.
Bergsma,
Aye.
Clocky.
Aye.
Kurth,
Aye.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, resolution 2019-49 passes. We're moving into November and December. We generally meet twice a month. As per usual, it always seems like the The second meeting falls within holiday seasons. I know Jen mentioned to me earlier she did not want to be here on Christmas, but I said if she brought the ham, we could do one of those types of things. So we need to know, obviously from staff and council, what your wishes would be. I know generally when we do not have those second meetings, we still get everything accomplished legally and financially within our duties.
We just carry over the claims till the next meeting and things like that. So
Okay.
I guess on staff's part anyway, we'd recommend just going down to one meeting like we have before. Last year, I think we had 2 in November, but we can still get everything done.
Thought-wise from council members?
Sounds good.
Yep, okay with that.
I like it.
My next thing on that is we had talked about having a planning meeting in November. Since we're going down to one meeting, do you want to have a planning meeting after the regular council meeting in November on the 13th, I believe? Or do you want to do it a different night?
For the same, if we're gonna,
Fine, maybe,
I'm okay with
Same
it
time.
in the same.
Okay,
For
we'll do it
hearings.
after the regular council meeting. Normally, they're not televised, they're still open meetings, the public can come to them, anything like that, but it's more of a discussion time.
And if we look at that agenda for the work session, if it seems to be lengthy or that first meeting is lengthy, we can bring in some food or something to
Yep.
tide us over. Okay, so then just for the public notice, we will be November the 13th, which is second Wednesday, and then we're already into December, so that'll be December 11th. Okay. Must not be hosting any parties. We have no consent agendas. Which leads us then to adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
so moved.
Been moved by Tim. Is there a second?
A second.
Seconded by Jen. Jen gets the prize tonight for the most seconds. And also thanks to all the council members that reach out to community members to answer their questions and their concerns. I appreciate you being a great voice for our community. Likewise to the staff members for being open to everyone's questions. I would then say that the Hawarden City Council's adjourned if we vote in affirmative. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you very much.